we actually learned more about the Seahawks because we already knew that, the Chiefs have speed all over the field. Mahomes is from another planet. And they can't play defense. We knew that going in. We knew that from the beginning of the season, really. Seattle started coming along in recent weeks, and we saw that defense, and we saw the running game, and Russell Wilson having his typical, quietly awesome season, and the defense in the absence of the Legion of Boom still really performing. We saw all that from Seattle, but then they had that hiccup against San Francisco, and that was in doubt. Now all that stuff was in doubt. Hey, wait, is that really them or what? No, that's them. That is the Seahawks. I mean, I predicted the Seahawks would win this game. I had a good week last week.
Yeah.
I called this game.
Pat yourself on the back again.
I know.
We're only 10 minutes into the show.
Sometimes.
We're 5 minutes into the show. Max, how many times were you right already in the show? 7. We've done one topic.
When you pick one side, I'll give you credit.
Have you?
Okay.
Oh, I can't do it. Go ahead.
Can you finish? Can I go?
The answer is Seattle. Go ahead, Stephen.
Okay. What did I learn? I learned that the Chiefs ain't going to the Super Bowl. That's what I learned. Now, I've been saying for a long time, I believe in this team. Mm-hmm. I believe in Patrick Mahomes. They can't stop a cold. They just can't. 210 yards rushing, they forfeited last night. Seattle was running the ball down their throats. They couldn't get a stop to save their life. Patrick Mahomes is a stud. The more I see this guy under this duress, the more I believe in him because he finds a way to make things happen. When you count them out, when you think, all right, they gave up too much, it's not enough time, here he comes, all right? But the combination of this team's run defense, they're just being devoid of any playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, combined with Kareem Hunt's absence, is too much. Mm-hmm. I watched them last night, and I'm like this. Despite how awful their defense was, if Kareem Hunt is there last night, just that additional weapon. I'm not talking about he would have done X, Y, and Z numbers-wise. I'm just talking about presence. I'm talking about decoy, Damien. I'm talking to football players. I'm talking about decoy. I'm talking about bodies on the field, moving the chains, keeping the ball out of Russell Wilson's hands, who, by the way, is just superb, as we always say.
Sierra's
just
husband?
superb.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Something. Well, she is.
Well, she is too. We know
Lord
that.
have mercy. Anyway,
Don't
distract me like that, Molly. Don't distract me like that again. I'm just saying. I'm here. I'm here. My apologies. She distracted me. What are we talking about? Because she distracted me just now. What are we talking about?
Easily distracted. This guy can't take him anywhere.
Okay, she distracted me.
How many years has the guy spent as a legit top 10 MVP candidate? Russell Wilson every year is the top 10 player in the league.
But we doubted him the beginning of the season.
My last point is again, if Kareem Hunt is there, it's a different ball game because I think Seattle might score 38, but the Chiefs have 41. But because he wasn't there, his presence, the absence of Kareem Hunt, I think cost them 10 points last night. Their defense can't stop a cold, and that's the problem. You can run all over them. That's my problem with Kansas City and with the other teams I see on the come up in the AFC. I think that there's just too much working against Kansas City right now with Kareem Hunt going. Go ahead, David.
I watched the game, and I just came away thinking that's another team in the Seattle Seahawks that could cause problems in the playoffs. That could cause serious problems in the playoffs.
Can they win the Super Bowl? Can they win the Super Bowl?
Could they do it?
Yeah.
They could. They
because there's no dominant team in the National Football League. Here's the thing that stood out to me. This is the team that has a dominant run game. Mm-hmm. My question about the Seattle Seahawks: can they score points? And this was a perfect measure against the Kansas City team that leads the league in scoring. And the Seattle Seahawks basically outdid what the Kansas City Chiefs like to do every week, which is basically outscore everyone. That's what the Kansas City Chiefs are known to do because their defense is so pathetic that it's all on Patrick Mahomes, and their offense is just outscore everybody. And when you watch the Seattle Seahawks, it wasn't their traditional way of just winning football games by running and playing great defense. No, they literally went blow for blow with the Kansas City Chiefs and was able to put up a ton of points.
A couple things that Seattle has done in recent years. They kept investing in the offensive line. They finally coached them up. They're playing much better. They have a much less expensive defense, still with Bobby Wagner, but they have a much less expensive defense that is so they can devote resources elsewhere, but they're playing really well, and they have a great quarterback who can do what he has to under pressure and can manage the game otherwise. That's a Super Bowl
promise
formula.
I won't sing it. So they lost their balance on offense, the Chiefs, obviously, right, without Kareem Hunt. Is there a chance, you said they won't go to the Super Bowl. I think there's a chance they could lose their first playoff game.
It is possible, but I will say this. I don't mean, it's not like Kareem Hunt being gone means they don't have a running game. Damien Williams had 103 yards on 13 carries. He averaged nearly 8 yards a carry.
Kareem's a different deal.
Listen, him with Spencer Ware, I mean, listen, at the time anyway, you look at them over the last 2 games, Damien Williams really more so than anything else. It's not about numbers. I'm talking about presence. I'm talking about fear being instilled in the opposition. I'm talking about forcing an opposing offense to have to play tight because they're that worried about what you bring. Tell me if I'm wrong about this, I saw Seattle in man coverage last night without any fear. Without any fear at times. And I'm looking at it from that perspective, and I'm like, that doesn't happen with all of their weapons in tow. Not with the Kansas City Chiefs offense that we've seen throughout the season. Seattle won't play you like that. No, not with all of them.
Well, here's what I want to say.
Sure.
With the Seattle Seahawks, they're gonna run what they run. They don't change things from week to week. They're going to run their system, and you're going to have to beat them. Right. And when you're playing up in Seattle, which is kind of the battle between Seattle and Kansas City as the 2 toughest places to play outdoor stadiums in the National Football League, that's a pretty big advantage.
They do what they do, Damien, but we've seen Pete Carroll throughout this year modify to some degree. In other words, one of the reasons why we've been praising Pete Carroll is arguably doing his best job. The aftermath of the Legion of Boom, all the chatter with Cam Chancellor, seeing him on the sideline last night, that was a good deal. Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas goes down, but you still got Bobby Wagner there. You look at the Seattle Seahawks, and what we've been praising Pete Carroll about is the fact that they don't just do the same thing week after week after week, because then it would be about the players. It's his willingness to modify to some degree.